evening and welcome to Monday Night. Monday night is the night we do the industry spotlight, and tonight that spotlight is shining into the city of Chicago. Shani Barnett is with me. Good evening, Shani.
I'm waiting. I need sunglasses because it's shining.
It is. You're very.
shining.
You've got that light going on that spotlight there. That's pretty impressive, and it fit into the introduction really quite well. So, Shani, we're going to dive into the life story. This is your that's not. This is your life. That's another thing. But anyway, we're going to dive into that and really dig into to where Shani's started from and where she is today. But Shani, I want to jump actually ahead first because you've got you're going to be doing something next week, and then in February you're going to do something. So let's give those just a little bit of talk, and then we'll get into the story. So what's going on next week that's going to take you out of town?
Yes. So next week I am traveling again. Woo! So next week I am East Coast. So anyone, my East Coast friends, I will be in Boston. I will be eating some clam chowder in Camden Yard where I park my car. Is that that's not right at all?
I do believe I heard some of that. Yes, whilst I was out there.
It's not even. It's probably not even
not
close,
that much of it. But
yeah.
A little bit of it, maybe.
Yeah, as you guys know from before, I totally suck at accents. All my accents sound the same no matter where I'm at. They all sound the same no matter what accent I'm doing. Now the Boston accent will sound like I'm somewhere else in the world, so it really doesn't matter. But yes, I will be in Boston, and we are doing what's called like a speaker shootout. I believe like that's like the name of what it's called, and it's kind of cool. Mr. Ben Stowe will be the person in charge of the speaker shootout. And he will be the person that will be in charge of monitoring all the speakers. And there will be, there's so many different companies that are going to be there. And that's what the cool part is that if you really were into like, oh, I was looking at these speakers, or I was looking at those speakers, or like I really didn't know what speakers, it's called the Harvest of Sound. And it's going to be Bose RCF EV, LD. I know I'm probably missing like a whole bunch of names. So if anyone knows more names than probably the ones that I'm missing, please let me know. But I'm probably missing like a whole bunch of them. And there's probably more added that I probably don't know. And I'm probably like scrolling through the messages right now to see all the other ones. But that was like probably like 2 months ago. But all these different speaker companies are going to be there, and we're all bringing like the newest and the greatest speakers that just came out, or the newest ones that we've had. And you get to like see them in real life and touch them and hear them. So you could have your own speaker comparison right there on the spot of kind of just see like, so I wanted to compare these speakers to this speaker and this line array to like that line array and everything. So we kind of do that. And I believe Ben might even be bringing some mics as well. So I think he might have even, don't quote me on that, but I kind of heard that rumor as well that he's doing that. I'm still kind of looking for the speakers, but I don't know whichever ones. But yeah, so we're doing that. And then after that, we're having a little after party. That's for my birthday. So we have some cool people that are going to be DJing for the after party. So we're going to be celebrating my birthday as well. I might be throwing on a little set, and then I've got some cool people that are also throwing on a little set. So that's in Boston. So if you're anywhere in the area or driving distance, definitely come. If you're not, I don't care about the birthday party as much as come check out the speakers and come like in person and check out all the different speakers. Of course, I'll be there for Bose. But come say hi to me, check out the speakers. I know everybody's bringing some swag, and come just check out all the cool stuff that everybody's coming and bringing. Yeah. We'll be out in Boston for that, and that's next Monday. So that's actually a week from today.
It's coming quick. It definitely is coming quick.
Yeah, so that's like in a week.
That's coming next week. And then let's jump ahead to February. You're going to be going to Las Vegas again with the now MEX show, the Mobile Entertainment Expo. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing there.
Yes. So the MEX show, as I guess like that's the nickname for it, which Mobile Entertainment Expo, which I guess it should be like me, Mobile Entertainment Expo, me.
I suppose.
Really should be the show?
I suppose.
Like me? Me? But I'm helping again with like the nighttime events. So if you haven't seen any of the crazy posts that we made over the last 3 months, we're doing the DJ takeover on Monday nights. And sorry, my earbud is popping out. And then we are doing the Wednesday night big party as well. So I will be in charge of the two big nighttime events, and we're still posting of all the speakers that are going to be speaking for the seminar. And then for you guys that don't know, it's in conjunction with the photo booth expo as well. So you kind of have the best of both worlds, that if you get a pass for the Mobile Beat Expo, you also can hit all the showroom floor and stuff for the photo booth stuff. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. If you're into both of them, you get to see everything on both sides, and the nighttime parties kind of combine and things like that. If you weren't able to kind of go to the soft opening that John was involved with and everything last year, year before, I don't know.
Yes,
all my
2 years
years are
ago.
kind of like
Yeah.
combining. Like, it's so crazy that all the years are kind of combining.
We did it just ahead of
and-
COVID, yeah, in
Yeah,
2020.
it was like, that was honestly like, in my wildest dreams, I never would have thought that that was like my last big
Yeah,
DJ gig
that was
right before COVID.
Yeah,
That like Vegas would have been like my last big DJ gig.
yeah.
Like, it was like we all kind of heard it on the news, but nobody really thought that would have been like what would have closed everybody down. But yeah, so that so this kind of like what took over Mobile Beat. If you guys are kind of thinking like, wait, what is this? This is really what took over Mobile Beat. So definitely look into it. If you guys are on Facebook, there is a Facebook page for it. Mobile Entertainment Expo. If you can't find it, send me a message and I'll kind of like send you a link, or I'll send you like an invite to it, so you kind of get the latest stuff and everything like that. But it's going to be a good time. It's over at South Point Hotel, and it's one of those hotels. It's not on the Strip, but it's got like everything in it. Everything.
Yeah.
Like, you name it, the hotel has everything in it, including like a rodeo, which I got to go see. Like, I was on the way to a seminar and I actually stopped in, and for like 20 minutes actually like watched a freaking rodeo.
That's going on in the end there. Yeah, crazy, but yeah, beautiful place, a nice hotel. That's just, it isn't as you said, it isn't the Strip, but it's still it is Vegas, and it feels Vegas. And of course, in the evenings after on Tuesday night, I believe, is the night that he leaves open, so people can go and do the Strip, go do downtown, whatever you want to do. So it works out really, really well with how they plan things.
Yeah. Yes. Hey, Mike. Hello. Yes, Howie. If I could do 5 minutes, I definitely would love to jump on the show if we could do that for sure. And yes, I will not let Jay. Jay would just laugh at me anyways. He laughs at me no matter what I say. So he would just laugh at my accent. So it really wouldn't matter. Laughs at me no matter what accent I'm doing. So
because Jay's such a happy person.
Yeah. Yeah.
And next week, by the way, as long as we're speaking about that, we're going to be trying to stream a little bit of the event on the DJNTV channel, and then Howie's going to be coming live from the event at 9:00 Eastern. So we're going to have to move Dan and MJ. We're going to have to move some things around because Howie's going to be coming from the show, and we're not sure how it's all going to plan to work, because when they're testing speakers, you usually play music, and to get music that can be played on streaming. Yeah, we're working on those things, but you guys will get to experience a little bit about what's going on next week, and then of course catch the Hanging with Howie show live from Boston. So excellent, Shani. Let's jump into your story a little bit tonight. I like to start these right kind of at the beginning, when you were a younger person. When was that? When was your first experience of music? When all of a sudden it kind of caught your eye, and you were like, oh my gosh, I just fell in love with music at this point, or this was an influence that just started to take hold of me?
Yeah, when I was a dancer. So I mean, it all started for me when I started dancing. So before I was even a DJ or anything, as people know from former shows that I'm on with you guys, I was a dancer before I was a DJ. So definitely when I was a dancer. So definitely my dancing days, that the music just kind of took over for me.
How again? We want to go back. Who was that influence then that got you into dance that would have made that bridge into the music world?
Just when
We lost a microphone, Shani.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, this came out. Sorry. My bad. You got me?
There we go. Now you're back.
There we go. Okay, sorry. Yes. So when I was younger, I was one of those people that, your parents kind of get you into the different things. And then when, my parents got me into the dancing, I just kind of had like the dance mentors that kind of got me into like, oh, she's got talent, she's got this, she's got that. So I kind of just followed in those footsteps and kind of did that. And then all through high school, after that, I went on to become a technical dancer through college. So for college, I actually got a dance degree and went to college for dancing. So I'm actually technically trained and did like Nutcracker and stuff like that. So I actually did those. Yeah, I did those type of shows. And I know I was ballerina and stuff like that. So I did those type of shows and everything. So went on, did Nutcracker, Disney, things like that. Then from there, to kind of give you guys a short little before the DJ world, then became a professional dancer, danced with a lot of the hip hop artists, music videos, went on tour, things like that. So I did a lot of that kind of stuff.
So you mentioned you doing hip hop type dancing, ballet. You were doing. So what other kind of dance type formats were you able to do during that time?
Everything. Kind of like how I was an open format DJ. I was kind of like an open format dancer. So kind of like back then, I did everything. I did ballet, jazz, modern, everything. And then kind of like when I realized what was going to pay my bills, kind of like with DJing, what pays my bills, with dancing, I kind of figured out after college what was going to pay my bills. And it definitely wasn't going to be going into like a ballet school type thing, American Ballet Theater with my type of body, things like that wasn't going to pay my bills. So what was going to pay my bills was, do I, audition for places like Disney? That's going to pay my bills. Going to audition for music videos, that's what's going to pay my bills. So I kind of went more to the street type of dancing and things like that. So I kind of did more of the performance and street dancing and video type work of that kind of things that was going to pay my bills. So I kind of left the technical world, even though it still is in me, and that's kind of what you need to build your foundation. Kind of like with DJing, you still need your foundation of knowing all your music. Even though you're an open format DJ, you still have to know all your music to know how to DJ. I kind of did that with dance. Like, I need to know all my dancing. Even though I kind of stayed with the hip hop, I still needed to know the foundation of everything to stay with the hip hop.
So somebody mentioned asked in the chat room,
yes.
Tap dance. Was tap dance one of the many that you were able to?
Yes, actually, tap dance is actually one of my loves and one of my favorites. And I just back then it wasn't really popular, which is really sad. But it still is like has a place in my heart, and I still have all the old videos. I love like Gregory Hines, watching him, all the old videos. I have like all the Let Us Entertain You type of old videos, the black and white videos. I have on CD. I still have a CD player, and I still have all the videos that somebody gave me for a birthday present of the Nicholas brothers and things like that. I still have like Fred Astaire type things. I still have all of that. So yes, I love watching all of those, Singing in the Rain, all that kind of stuff. So yes, I love watching those old school movies. So even though it never kind of took off back then, it still has a place in my heart. And every once in a while, I'll just kind of do a time step in the rain. I remember, in fact, it's very funny. About a couple weeks ago, when I said, people know I'm like the grill master at my house if they watch my Snapchats and my Instagrams in the summer. And it started raining, pouring rain, and I just kind of took an umbrella, and while I was grilling outside, I just just kind of started singing in the rain and tap dancing while I was grilling. So it still kind of has a place in my heart. And I just kind of like started doing the singing in the rain routine. So it still has a place in my heart. It just never really took off back then for me. And it just like, you just can't pay the bills with it, but it still has a place in my heart. So yes, tap dancing is one of those things.
Excellent. I did not know that. We've talked about this in
Yes.
past show. I didn't know that. So
Yes,
Sean, thank you
I love
for that
tap
that heads up there.
Yes, yes.
So before we get in a transition from the dance world to the DJ, let's talk a little bit about, was there any tap dance or any dance, I should say, like that? That's a real stress on the body.
Yeah.
Coming out of a sports world, I had any number of injuries coming from that because of all the beating of the body. Talk a little bit about that. Was that something that you experienced?
Yeah, and I still experience it. So, I knew, thank goodness, I became really good friends with the athletic trainers in college because I was friends with a lot of the athletes. And I had major injuries. So like I have no meniscus in one knee. I have some major cartilage damage in the other knee. Back then, we thought we were warriors. We never wore knee pads, all that kind of stuff. When we used to work with major choreographers that used to come in and do crazy choreography on us. Now the dancers know to always wear knee pads and things like that. But back then, we just thought we were tough as nails and always just did a lot of work with none of that. When I was on tour back then, especially with the hip hop artists, when we used to tour with all of like Biggie and Puffy's groups with the hip hop. Back then we did a lot of, in the 90s, we did a lot of combat boots and things like that on tour. So just on our body, it just took a lot of stress on our knees and everything. Sure. So my knees are shot. Like I actually still, I started seeing a chiropractor a couple years ago, but that also doesn't help because I used to do martial arts too. But I see a chiropractor now like once a month. Like it's like clockwork. I see a massage therapist now, chiropractor, but that's also from DJing too. I do it constantly, but like clockwork, like it's on my schedule and things like that to work on me. But yeah, and I knew like dancing wasn't like, I couldn't perform. And in my head, I knew I was going to turn into a choreographer later. But then I also knew for me, I still wasn't going to be something that I was going to be doing like for lifestyle, like all the time. And that's why when I was on tour, like I wasn't the one that always hung with the artists. I always hung with the DJs because they had the cool music. Like they had the awesome music. They had like the underground music. They had tracks that like I've never heard of. And being like a dancer, I was like, oh my God, where did you get this music? So in the hotels and when we were on tour, like I wasn't one to hang with the artists. I wasn't one to hang with those guys. So when we always split up, I was always going in the DJ's room where their after party was, not where the other after party was, where the artist was. So I was like always in the DJ's room where they had their after party and I would just like hang in their room. So that's kind of how I segued into like the DJ world. Was I was hanging with like the guys with the good music. Like, I was like, okay, I'm hanging with these guys. And they always said to me, if you ever wanted to get into DJing, you know beats, you know how to count, you would be kind of good at this. I was like, whatever. Yeah. Okay. I don't know all this wick stuff. I don't know how to do all that kind of stuff. Cause back then it was always turntable DJs back then, it was turntables and things like that. And I was like, I don't know about this, pulling out these records and this mess on the ground and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know, carrying all this stuff. I know you got guys that do it on stage, but so then I started watching them and I just kind of started watching and learning. And then I had a couple great mentors that took me in and I just would watch. And I stood there and watched until finally one of them was like, okay, your turn. And I'm like, what? What do you mean my turn? And he'd be like, let's go, jump on here. And then he would just like, okay, now do this. Now watch this. Now do this with your hand. Now listen for this beat. Now do this with this. And just kind of like really slowly walked me through of like, now listen for this. Now do this with this. And I was like, okay, all right. So I kind of like started segueing into that while I was still dancing. So I kind of was like I was like learning how to DJ while I was still dancing. So
Sure.
I was like a bedroom DJ while I was dancing.
So that would have been after the time with Disney. Correct?
That was after Disney.
Okay.
That was way after Disney. Yeah, I wasn't at Disney that long. I was only at Disney a very, very short time because that's when my dad passed away, and I took it upon myself to move back to Chicago to handle a lot of business. So yeah, so then I moved back to Chicago. So that's kind of when I came back here and then decided to then do more Chicago local artists and do more local tours and things like that.
So you were kind of being groomed into the DJ profession there. When did you get to that point in time where you were like, okay, I'm ready to go and I can do this basically on my own?
I personally didn't get to that point in time. I got pushed into it.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's funny, and it's funny because I now do that to other people.
Yep.
As an MC and a DJ, I actually do that to my people now. I throw my people now on the mic, and I throw my people now like DJing wise. Like I do that to them too. I'm like, yeah, here. And then I'll literally just give them the microphone and I'll walk away. And I'm like, yeah, okay, go. You got this. Yeah. No, you actually have to get this because now everybody's looking at you. And I'll do that too. But I know they're ready. Like I'll do it when I know they're ready. And the same thing, I'll do it to like my DJs too as well. Like when I know they're ready, I'll just kind of have them messing around a little bit and then I'll walk away. And they'll be like, what the? And I'm like, well, I mean, you have to now because if you stop, like there's dead air and I'll yell at you if there's dead air. So like, that's kind of like how it happened to me. I was kind of like messing around, like people were walking in, it was kind of like cocktails and like, people were kind of walking in. I was having some fun. He was like, no, just keep going. Just keep going. The club is kind of opening. Just kind of keep going. I was like, okay. And the next thing I know, he just like disappeared. Was at the bar having a drink. It was like, give me a thumbs up and everything. And I was like, this mug, like what? And he's like, yeah, you got that. And I was like,
funny.
Are you serious? What the, sweat coming down my face. I'm like, what the, why am I, dude, it's like 50 degrees. Why am I sweating? What the, yeah. So, but he knew I was ready. So that's why but I'm dripping in sweat. I'm like, but yeah, I mean, of course I rocked it, but I personally didn't think I was ready, but he knew I was ready. Did I rock it? Of course I rocked it. Did I think I probably could have done better? Of course I think I probably could have done better, but I know when like I did that little set, I was like, okay, I totally rocked that. I was like, okay,
nice.
Okay. But I probably would never have done that if he didn't throw me to the wolves.
He threw you off the end of the dock and swim.
Yeah. And I do that now. I do that to my people now. I throw them the wolves now. Yep. That's how I do it too. But I don't do it unless I think they're ready. But I do that too now.
That's funny. That's funny. So from that point, then getting to the point where you were kind of becoming that MC and featured DJ for not only private events but for corporate events, how long of a time frame are we talking to go from that start to the point where you were doing that?
A long time. I'm not gonna lie. I'm so not gonna lie. People think it's easy. People think it's like I've been doing this for a couple of years. I haven't. It took me a long time to get where I am. A lot of hard work, especially here in Chicago. I put a lot of time and effort into what I do. It's a cutthroat industry where I'm at, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I worked my way from the bottom to the top, so I wouldn't want have it given to me at all. And I would say it's taken me years, not like 1 or 2, not 3 or 4, not 5 or 6. It definitely has taken me years to get where I am. And I'm okay with that because I'm a hard worker and I'm a hustler and I'm a grinder. So I definitely, anyone who says it's happened to them overnight, I don't believe them.
Yeah.
I just don't. Like, I don't believe it. I'm like, okay, boo boo, if it great, I'm happy for you. Like, and I don't care. Like, anyone who ever says to me that, oh God, this has happened to me. Like, this is great. Okay. That's great for you.
Hmm.
I've put in a lot of hard work. I've put in a lot of time and effort. I still practice every day. I still live stream, even though, like I was telling you, Thanksgiving week, anyone who saw my Facebook post, I did 5 events Thanksgiving week. I'm still live streaming. I'm not live streaming the way I was during the pandemic, but I still do it for the people that supported me
Hmm.
that year and a half that I had no events, and they're still come in and support me. So because of that, maybe I'm live streaming 2 times a month now, but I'm not going to give up on them. So I just do it now just because they were there for me. So that's just how I am. I'm
Hmm.
still, I still practice, I still grind, I still talk to other DJs about music, I still do everything that I've been doing, I still up my game, I still do everything that I'm supposed to be doing. Um, and for 2022, I'm going to keep doing that.
Sure.
So anyone who says, "Oh, it came easy to you," I just laugh it off. Like, I don't even try to explain myself to people, because I just think it's funny if anyone ever says any of that to anybody. "Oh, it came easy to them." Okay, you believe whatever you want to believe,
Yeah.
friend,
Yeah.
because nobody knows it. Yeah, I
As
mean, it's just funny when I hear people talk about that either at conferences or this and that. Okay, I mean, maybe some people it did. Maybe they were given something. Okay, well, let their talent talk for them. That's what I just say. Let the talent talk for them.
hmm.
So for me, it didn't come easy. It definitely didn't come easy. I put a lot of hard work into what I do. And especially for somebody like me who is an open format DJ that could sit there and, like you said, I could do a club one night.
Yep.
The second night, I could do Grandma Era's 80th birthday party
Because
that
she likes to
no
party.
one is,
Yep.
under the age of 60 at the party. And then the next night go do blackout Wednesday, where nobody is over the age of 25 at the club. And then the next night, be on 3 hours sleep and be at SDK on Thanksgiving, and it's all families, and be on no sleep, and have the whole corporate world at SDK and play music for them.
Hmm.
So it's like I can switch it up just like that and be able to do all those worlds, and I wouldn't even have it any other way for me.
Sure.
Where some people are like, I'm just a club DJ, I just do techno, and that's like all I do, and I'm happy. And I'm like, that's awesome for you. I'm just a wedding DJ, I just do weddings, and I'm like, I'm happy for you. I don't judge anybody. I'm happy for all those people. I love the world that I'm in, that especially because of COVID, that I was able to at least get into some other spots
Yeah.
when my private events, hit, because I don't do that many weddings. Weddings was never my cup of tea, and all my world shut down, and some of my world still is shut down because of everything. I was blessed that I was able to get back in the club world and things like that, and do some other type of events that I do. So I wouldn't have any other way for me that I could go from, because it keeps me on my toes. I could
Hmm.
go from
Oh, certainly.
this to here to there to there to there to there. The only part about that is I have to completely update my music every single week,
Yes.
because I have to have
Yep.
everything
You have to be
and
ready.
under the sun, and I have to be ready for everything.
Mm.
But I love it. I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
So let's talk a little bit, the years of hard work and practice and hustle. And I think that's something that from a lot of our shows that we've done together, the hustle has been a huge part of what makes Shani successful over the years like
Yeah.
that. How did that evolve into you helping at conventions and such, and finding yourself as a product person like what you are with Bose next week?
Yeah. So when I started with the DJ conferences, as you know, I mean, I go by myself. I've always gone by myself, even though I worked for multi-ops. I was always the one that just kind of went by myself, even though I knew other people from Chicago. My multi-op, I was just always the one that went by myself.
Hmm.
Always just, I was on the seminar side, went by myself. Then from that, I started speaking on that side. So then I was a speaker and started doing seminars and everything. Never did I think about going on the other side of the world. I just kind of stayed on the seminar side, and then I would just kind of go on the showroom floor, and then kind of just started talking to people on the showroom floor and things like that. And then I kind of started getting noticed from the product side, and people just kind of started reaching out to me.
Sure.
But I am going to say this for anyone who really is interested in getting sponsored or talking to people on the seminar side. And I know we have talked about this, and I'm not really going to get too much into this, but really, people, be careful about what you say, what you post, what you do, everything.
Yes.
I'm just going to kind of put it out like that. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I'm just going to say be aware of everything, because they watch everything. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm going to say.
Really, it's like like any other job where you're going into a job interview, and they're going to go and they're going to do background check, and they're going to look at everything.
So I'm just gonna say that. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say if it's religious, political, anything. I'm just gonna say just be careful. Just know what you post. Mm-hmm. Know what you say to people. Know, because even at conferences, know what you say to people as well. Don't think they're not going to talk to other people. Don't think they're not going to ask about you. Don't think they're not going to talk to, just do things. That's all I'm going to say. But again, even with Bose, I mean, that didn't come overnight, as well. I've been with them for 6 years. I definitely grinded with them as well. Started out just kind of just DJing for them, being a pro DJ, DJing in the booth. Just having some fun at the conferences, just having the vibe for them, when just being in the booth, having some fun, being, vibing is how he always joked around with me.
Yep.
I went from like, I forgot one time he said like DJing in a truck to a car. I forgot, he made some like funny joke to me. I forgot like what it was, but he was like, he like from a car to a truck to a motorcycle or something.
Yeah,
like,
I think that was a progression.
Yep. Yeah, it was like a progression. I forgot what he said, but he like said something, but it was like, yeah, but I mean, kind of just started. And then, their corporate kind of saw things that I was doing for them and different things that I was doing in there, and they kind of approached me, was like, would you want to do more for us? And I was like, of course, I would love to do more for Bose. You guys have great products. You guys do this. And it kind of progressed like that. And then it kept progressing. And of course, as everybody kind of knows from the last DJ conference, my boss came down with COVID, and they took it upon themselves that he came down with COVID the weekend right before DJ Expo. And they called me and said, instead of 3 days before Expo of us kind of canceling everything, would you like to just step up and be our fearless leader? And I was kind of like, wait, what? Like, what do you, like, me being in charge of everything? I was like, wait, what does that mean? Like, I'm in charge of like 15 people and in charge of everybody from Guitar Center, in charge of product. And wait, hold on, like, do I have time to think about this? And they're kind of like, no, not really. Like, we got to make the move on this, So it was kind of like that. But before they even had that, I took tests for Bose and took tests about speakers to learn about the different types of speakers. So I can go to places like Guitar Center and things like that, and say, hey, Shady's at Guitar Center from this time to this time with the new line array speakers from this time to this time, if everybody has any questions. So I'm just not Shady from Bose, and you could come and I could be like, yeah, that's a great speaker. Yeah. You wanna buy it? It's a great speaker. Oh, I think it's like a 12-inch. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me look that up for you. Yeah. It's 12-inch. Yeah. But I had to like take tests, and so I could learn about everything about the speaker and be able to talk about it and be a clinician about it. So I can say, I know about these speakers. I can teach people about these speakers. I can actually go places and teach people and say, what questions do you have about these speakers? I can tell you everything about these speakers. So
Nice.
it's not just like, oh yeah, I just, I work for Bose and I just can tell you about these speakers. No, I do work. I do my homework about them. They send paperwork. I read books about it. I watch videos. I do this. I do that. So I definitely have to do homework and do things about it. It's not just like all fun and games and I just wear a t-shirt that says Bose and things like that.
Sure. What
And
can,
hand out pens and sunglasses
and
and
I handled
things.
some swag at the show.
Yeah.
When it comes to working with a company, Bose or whoever, what are some of the characteristics or traits that are kind of important that you've heard? I mean, I can think of things like looking for people with integrity, that have that work ethic, that are going to be out there hustling. Are there any of those types of things that just stand out and it's like, okay, this is something that they don't find, and that's why they go to the people they go to?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, one big thing is they're just looking for, all these companies are just looking for people that definitely just have that passion, and they just have that passion for DJing, and they just have that they just love what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just looking for that, and it's not work for them. That it's just something that just they love what they do. And like I said, if they look on their social media is just something that if they went to show somebody. And I'm not saying that you have to like always post pictures of work and things like that, but it's not like, oh God, I can't, what's this? Or if they go in a DJ group, it's not them bitching all the time and complaining about this, and this.
Sure.
Or they're not fighting with other people about certain things and things like that, but you're just like showing your passion for your work on whatever you're posting. Like I said, you go post other stuff. They're not saying that you have to live and work 100% for DJing. They don't want anyone to do that. And that's one thing that anyone will tell you, whether it's Pioneer or Bose or Denon or, or Chave or like whoever, Promo Only or whoever you're working for. They're not saying 100% you have to live, breathe our company, because they know you have a personal life. They know that you're not working for us 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But they're saying just represent our brand the way you would represent yourself. And that's the one thing they always say, or they say, this is what our brand logo is. This is what we represent. Would you be able to represent this logo? Would you be able to represent what we represent? Great. Let's see that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see you do that. So it's just that, are you going to DJ conferences? What else are you doing in the DJ community? These people are like, well, I want to be sponsored. Okay, well, that's great. Everybody wants to be sponsored. What are you doing in the DJ world that shows that you want to be sponsored? Are you doing stuff with John on DJNTV? Are you doing other things in the DJ community? Or are you going on DJ blogs and just bashing people?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're doing that, why would a brand want to represent you?
Right. And I think that kind of comes back to that integrity side of things, that they're looking for people who aren't going to be that bad egg. Right,
exactly. Do you have events? Are you posting your events? Are you active on Instagram? I'm not saying that you need to have 4,000 likes. I mean, in fact, they don't even want that. They don't want you to be. One thing I've learned from a lot of brands is they don't care if you're an influencer.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, they don't need you to have 7,000 likes. They just want you to be active.
Sure.
They want you to be active on your social medias. They don't care that you have 400 likes. They don't care if you have 2 likes. They just want you to be active on your social medias. They want to see that you're doing events. They want to see that you're posting. They want to see that you're active in the DJ world.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they really care about, that you're using products, that you're showing pictures, that you're active in your DJ world, that you're active doing things.
Sure.
And that's what they want to see. You don't have to sit there and like be in bed with your speaker.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to sit there and be in bed with your controller. You don't have to be in the car with it. Like, that's a little overboard. but they just want to see that you're using it. They want to see that you're doing stuff. Like I said, you don't have to show 7 pictures in a row with it, but they just want to see like, okay, this is what she's using. Okay, this is, you know, this is what she's doing. But in the next breath, if you're using a Pioneer controller and that's what you're doing, they don't want to have you sit there and bash somebody that's using a Rain controller. And that's a terrible controller. And I would never use a Rain controller. And that's absolutely terrible. And those are the best controllers out there are Pioneer controllers, because they would never bash another company's controller.
Yeah.
So they don't want to see you doing it, because they're like, well, we don't do that. We don't talk bad about somebody else's product. Why would we want you to represent our company and talk bad about somebody else's product? We don't do that.
Yep.
So you know what? Maybe you're not a fit for us because we don't do that. So if you're trying to be sponsored by somebody, just be careful, guys. And if you've done it in the past, cool. Change the way you are for 2022. If this is something, because I've had people contact me, and this is exactly what I tell them. And another thing I tell them is, then why is your Instagram private? If you're posting, it's a personal Instagram, I get that. But if you're posting pictures of your parties, well, then your sponsors can't see it. They can't see what you're doing.
Exactly.
So you need to change that if you want people to start seeing that, or then make a second Instagram. Then make a second. You can make as many Instagram accounts as you want. Change the pictures on your Facebook to your party pictures. Make those public then. You got to start changing the way you're posting things if you want people to start seeing those type of things. So you got to start seeing, you got to start doing different things you're doing on social media if this is the kind of route you want to start going into, so people start seeing what you want to do, if that's what you want to do. If you don't, cool, then keep bashing whoever you want to bash, and I don't care, like whatever you want to do. Whatever. That way I can just sit there and read it when I'm like 1 a.m. and I'm tired, and I could just oh, okay, I see you. All right. Yeah. Oh, you said what? Okay, all right. Let's see how long that's going to stay up there until the admin deletes that. Okay. Down, you said.
Let's
see who says what now.
The world of DJ. Shani, our time is up here for tonight. We're gonna have to wrap things up. For those of you, this is the point now where you can jump to what Shani's doing now, or what she's up next. You go to the beginning of the video again, and then you catch up with where she's at, where she'll be at. Because
when it comes to me, we just go all over the place. If you haven't met me yet,
Shani, if people want to reach out to you, what's the best way?
Hi, Robin. Yes, if people want to reach out to me, I'm all over the place. You can find me anywhere. So Facebook, you could either follow me, Shani Barnett, or you can go to my business page, Shani Barnett Productions. You can follow me on Twitch, right there, Chi-Town Shani on Twitch. Club Quarantine, come find me at the party. Instagram, Chi-Town Shani. You could always have fun in my Instagram stories. It's always fun to see what I'm doing during the day. And if you ever want to have some fun in the weekends and just laugh when I'm at the clubs, it's a good time just to see what happens on the dance floor. Instagram, yes, Mixclouds, if you guys want some cool music to just jam out to, if you need some cool mixes for workout or just to jam out to while you guys, like I know Dan always listens to some of my mixes. Yep. I just gave a shout out to Dan. I know he's always like, oh, this got me through my paperwork. Please, I'm actually for those that have been waiting, I'm actually going to be uploading some new Mixcloud mixes. I know you guys have been waiting. I'm going to be finally uploading some new Mixcloud mixes. Everything's kind of Chi-Town Shani. So when in doubt, just look for Chi-Town Shani. But please, if you guys have any questions, I'm an open book. Please reach out to me about anything. For those, if I'm going to see you in Boston, please come up to me. Especially if I haven't seen you, I want some pictures. So hope to see you guys on Monday. We'll eat some clam chowder together.
The accent, I like that, how you work that in
with the accent.
Shani, thank you much for being on. Thank you guys for being with me. We had a great crowd tonight. We'll be back here in about 20 minutes here with our show at the top of the hour. Shani, once again, thanks for being on tonight.
Bye, guys. Bye-bye.